Alright here, YouTube. This spring I decided that I would finally pursue skydiving, something I always wanted to do. So I signed up for the student program at Jumptown in Orange, Massachusetts. So this is a progression of the student program. This is called the Category A jump. It is probably one of the more difficult ones. Um, so yeah, it's pretty ugly. There we just did the exit. You see Matthew shaking my harness right there because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be arching. You can see Eric there on my right was kind of going head down for a little bit. So Matt popped up and pushed him back down. And there is Matt trying to give me hand signals, and I'm not really responding all that well. And then we go for the practice touches on the deployment handle. Eric is trying to get me to touch it because I'm touching the back of my harness and not the actual handle. He's grabbing onto my wrist. There we go. Finally got it. Matt shakes his head. I go for the second touch. I finally get it. Matt's trying to give me hand signals, and I'm not quite understanding. He's smacking me on the head to get my attention. Trying to get me to check my altimeter, and he just gives me the signal to pull. And a little squirrely, and there we go. So that was my first solo, so to speak, skydive. As a student, I did have 3 tandems before that, and I will say it is still vastly overwhelming. So that is the first one. I did pass, but I actually chose to redo that one. And now we are on the category B. Um, these videos are not perfectly linear. They are in order of the order that I did them, but there is large gaps because not all the instructors fly with cameras, and you are not allowed to use a camera as a student, of course. So here I am right in front of the camera. The guy with the green hoodie is Fred. He is on the reserve side, and Matt again is on my right, and he is the main side, so to speak. So this is the category B. Exit was pretty good, just didn't have my legs out. So I do my circle of awareness. They both like it. I do my 2 practice touches. There's the second one. Now leg extensions. Alright, there's my legs out straight and back to normal. And now they counter steer, or they steer me in one direction and I try to counter steer. And there's the other direction. And now Fred and Matt having a little bit of fun behind me. I can't even see them doing that. Of course, I didn't see that until we were watching the video later. And Matt looks down at the ground. Maybe that pilot chute needs a little bit of work. Oh, and maybe the bridle needs a little bit of tuck in there too. Dive flows over by 9,000 feet, I think Matthew said. I wave off and deploy. So there we go. 2 instructors track away. Matt waves off. He pulls. There he goes. His chute is open. And gives it a nice little clap. There we go. Alright, so this is actually the very next jump. Fortunately, I did have Matthew with me on this one to fly a camera, or to bring a camera. The smaller woman on the left is Trish. She is actually pretty much the top instructor there in the gray jumpsuit and the black helmet. The student right in front of Matthew right now with the student gear, I forget his name, but me and him actually got licensed on the same day. He's actually been in the program for, I think, supposedly 3 years. He just didn't have time. So there are 2 fun jumpers climbing out the door right there. The guy with the blue and green is Ed Laird. He's a fun jumper there. So Trish was spotting and just gave the signal to circle around because there was clouds underneath. So we circle around and try and make a big loop. So I jumped ahead a little bit here, cut a little bit of the video out, and there he goes. Now Trish climbs out, gives me the signal to set up in the door. We do our checks, checking in, checking out, up, down, up, and we exit. Not the cleanest exit, but it was alright. Everybody's looking good. So the point of this skydive is for both of the instructors to eventually let go, and you are flying by yourself. It's pretty stable with both of the instructors. Trish is trying to let go. Um, she decides to redock. Matthew lets go right away, and that's when things get a little bit squirrely. Definitely was not the best flyer by any means at first. It's definitely not easy when you don't understand how everything's working and you just don't have a lot of time in the sky. So Matt decides to redock because that wasn't stable. Wave off, and I deploy, and both instructors try to track off. And of course there's the big cloud that we were trying to avoid by circling back in the plane. And Matthew is in the cloud. Alright, and now this is another large jump in the progression, the student progression. There goes Ed Laird. So this is called the hop and pops. This is when we exit at only 5,000 feet, and you can see the edge of my helmet gets caught on the door right there. So wasn't the best hop and pop exit. I was a little bit unstable, kind of turned 90 degrees. And Matthew exits the airplane, and since he is not doing a hop and pop, he actually gets quite a bit more free fall time than me. And since he has the highest license, he is also allowed to deploy much lower than any student would ever would. And there you go. There is Matt under canopy. And then the next series of videos, I believe, will be another very large jump in the student progression, since, again, not all the instructors fly with cameras. There's Dan. He's one of the coaches. So there is some fun jumpers, a group of 4 fun jumpers right in front of Dan right now. They're waiting for the green light to come on. That older gentleman with the blue and white suit, he's got some age on him. He's definitely not a spring chicken. He's been jumping for probably as long as I've been alive. Alright, green light is on. That group is doing a 4-way. And they give the signal, out, in, out, and jumpers are away. And the old guy does his spot, and he makes his exit. Now Dan does the climb out, we do our spot. We give the head nod, and we both exit. Alright, so this is the last category in the student progression. It's called Swoop and Dock. So basically the instructor will go a second earlier, and the student has to chase after them, essentially, so to speak. You can see how squirrely I am, but got pretty stable once I got close to Dan. He puts his arms out, and that makes him slide back. I was waving for me to come in. Takes me a little bit. I'm still new to flying. It's not that easy. I definitely learned a lot on this weekend I did this. Whoa, coming in way hot. Dan backs up and turns around. Boom. We dock in. And it's time to go. Dan waves me off. I try to track away. Again, I'm still new to tracking, so that was not the greatest track away by any means. Dan waves off and he pulls. Alright, doing same exact thing with Dan again. Looks like almost the same group of fun jumpers. Getting ready to do their exit. They're waiting for the green light. There's me with my red helmet, or slapping high five with all the tandems. And there's Dan chatting up that girl. He likes to chat up the ladies. Try to keep the spirits high, make everybody laugh, everybody smile. And jumpers away. Now me and Dan climb the door. We're doing our spot, checking we're over the drop zone. We do our nod, and we make our exit. Again, not a very clean exit by any means. Still trying to learn at this stage. Not even in the camera view. There we go. I swoop in. And I gotta pop back up because I went too low. And I try to come in. Boom, we make our touch. Dan slides back, puts his arms out. He waves for me to come on in. He's real jumpy. He likes to go fast on everything. Boom, clean, good dock. And we're out of altitude. So we're just gonna hang out for a minute till 6,000 feet, and then we're gonna do a break off. Alright, I turn away 6,000 feet, try to track, and I wave off and pull. Alright, so this is the last skydiving video of this series. This is the second to last skydive before I got licensed. The last skydive you make is 25 as the student program. The 25th skydive is called your check dive. This would be number 24. So Matthew decided to take me on a zoo dive is what we called it. So we're setting up to do a scuba exit. Did a double backflip out the door. You can see I'm wearing all my own full gear on this one. I got my red jumpsuit that very same day. I like that suit a lot. So we swoop in. Matt gets small. He drops down. Yeets me over backflip. That was pretty cool. We swoop right in. Dock right in. And then Matthew drops his knee. That spins us way around fast. Shoots me off. We're going in for one more. I'm thinking on this one we were going to do another flip, but Matthew actually goes for a barrel roll, which I didn't quite get so elegantly. I'm thinking we had time for one more maneuver. No, Matthew waves off. He tracks away. I turn and track away. He waves off and he pulls. And that gives a nice ender. So this is the sort of...
Okay guys, we're about to get stamped here.
So this is what happens. You get your forehead stamped when you pass your license.
Go for it. So what don't start recording yet.
I am now. Oh. Look at me.
There we go.
Yeah.
And I like to sing you this inappropriate song.
Yeah, buddy.
Alright, and then this day is actually completely separate. This is water training. This is what one of your requirements for the B license, which I will not be pursuing this year. That will be next year's endeavor.